The squares at CNN are really upset that Trump pulled off the impossible. He became cool. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. I'm Doug TenNapel. This is where the happy patriots are. Are you happy? If you're not smelling the wind hard enough.
This shot right now coming in live. We got Musk there. We got, I don't recognize everybody. There's President Trump, Senator Bill Haggerty.
This is at the latest SpaceX launch. Elon Musk invited all of Trump's cabinet to come and watch and have some fun. That's all. It's a celebration of a great American business. What guy isn't excited about watching a rocket go off? It's what kids dreamed of from when all the way back in the days of Tang when we watched the moon launch.
Hold this position. You try to achieve roughly a 70-degree angle of attack. And then when it goes subsonic...
Is that controlled by computer or by man?
It's entirely computer. Yeah. So it's falling down like this. So it's like a skydiver, basically. So it's just, you can think of these flaps like the skydiver's arms and legs. So it's falling down like this. Right. And then right at the end it turns around and lands.
There hasn't been this much excitement about space in about 40 years.
What do you make of this? They fashion themselves on social media as this legion of superheroes, this incoming administration. Tulsi Gabbard, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., et cetera, et cetera. I guess we're...
No, you're wrong. They don't fashion themselves as the Avengers. The internet gave them that title.
This is the final battle. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state.
It was organic. It grew from the ground up, something that Democrats don't understand because they're so used to astroturfing and pushing narratives down from the top and trying to create all the branding from the top. It came from the bottom that people started saying they're like the Avengers because they're so strange and they have their own unique superpowers. That's all.
What do you think about the role he's playing in this administration?
Listen, this is one of the most successful people that the world has ever known, and the ability to build businesses and think outside the box and be an entrepreneur. That's a voice that the president really values. But when you look at this totality, this kind of theme that they all think they're superheroes now.
Again, back with the superheroes thing. Let's just stick it back to what she started with, which is Elon Musk is cool and one of the most successful businessmen ever. Not like George Soros, who got it from exchanging securities and bankrupting countries, but he actually builds things that are needed, things that people value, including X.
There's a little bit more swagger with the Republican Party now because they did win the White House, the House, and the Senate. You see it in sports now where people are scoring touchdowns and goals and winning matches and doing the Trump dance. There are Republicans who are feeling pretty cool about themselves for the first time in a long time.
I don't know when Republicans ever felt that cool. Maybe under Reagan, but we've been known as the nerd party. Bad ties, bad suits, and bad hair. Like culturally bad taste. And now you have some real cultural changers where they're actually making, American flags are cool again. Being patriotic is cool again. And I don't mean cool in a way where you look down at other people like, oh, you're on the outs, you're not popular. It's a very healthy, strong, pro-man, pro-American, pro-family, pro-tradition, although they break a lot of traditions too. CNN can't stand that the Democrats aren't the cool punk rockers anymore. The Republicans are. If you go along with that state-driven, communist, top-down, just cold gray steel cells is what they represent, they're on the outs, and they're upset that Republicans are on the ascent.
If Elon Musk wants to help fix the federal government, he should get a government appointment, go through security clearances, go through conflicts of interest disclosures, and the like. It's really hard. The idea that he's going to go butt into every agency, he'll have Trump, obviously Trump's interlocutor, no one's going to refuse to tell Musk something or show him documents. Then he goes right back to his private business and uses the information however he pleases. It's really unbelievable.
He thinks it's unbelievable. I think that's Bill Kristol, who thinks it's terrible that he's a successful private businessman, goes into the government. By the way, on his Doge thing, he and Vivek Ramaswamy have announced they're not taking a salary. So he's taking zero government money. He's only going to save everyone billions of dollars, perhaps even trillions of dollars. And CNN, they're falling apart. To them, that's really bad news that a private businessman will go back to his business instead of stay in office like Biden for 70 years.
Not to mention the fact that he has so many government contracts.
Well, this is, where I was mentioned is that when the U.S. government decided not to continue its own space shuttle development and advancement, it did outsource to places like SpaceX. And so it's heavily subsidized.
Oh, heavily subsidized. They never say that about the electric vehicles by other car companies. Ford, any other electric vehicle that's not a Tesla. They never said, hey, it's heavily subsidized. What about Solandra? What about all the solar panels? What about their subsidies? How are those subsidies where they underwrite people's solar panel work on behalf of the environment? What about Biden subsidizing, paying off the student loans, trying to, for a bunch of underwater basket weaving courses? They don't resent subsidies until a very successful businessman makes space rockets that no one else can make. That's why they have to go to him.
And now is going to be overseeing the same agencies that have been giving him money and making this profitable. Now, it's one of the coolest things in government is to be able to go and see a space launch, right? It is the idea, the moonshot. You really feel like you're doing something bigger than yourself.
And she went back, I'm going back to that snide comment about all the money he's made from these government contracts. Let's not forget the government contract where they were going to spend $40 billion on Starlink internet connection for rural communities that they canceled purely because of his politics. Now they're saying his politics are why he's so connected. Well, his politics before cost him $40 billion that Kamala Harris locked up in the government and has not connected one internet service yet.
But Elon Musk is not accountable to anybody in the American public, wasn't elected, like you said, not confirmed. And his whole goal is to really just go in, as he says, as a big hammer and break things. And some of these things that he wants to break are actually really healthy and productive for keeping basic standard of living in the United States.
That's going to be their narrative they're trying to go with. Anytime you make a change, they're going to say that he's breaking all these services and that help people. You have to audit and reform things from time to time. You can waste lots of money. For them trying to shut down Amish people using a natural cow milk, and now they're going to go after him for going in and do government oversight. No one's buying it, CNN. Go find another platform to run on because this one ain't going to stick.
It's that whole disruptive idea of technology, that disruption for its own sake is the ideal as opposed to what's the impact on people.
And that's also a very dumb comment. It's not that they're going and breaking things. They're going to reform things. When we say we want them to go and break some furniture, we mean to break the corruption and then make it hopefully a more useful government that will help all people. But again, CNN's got their little narrative that Trump's going to go and break things and not build anything. Wait till they see the businesses that come back and are built. Wait till they see even that families that are built, that are happy again and don't feel chastised by a government that will celebrate every anti-family form of coupling or expression and then not the American family.
I think we can all agree that this government could use some disrupting, but it's also good for people to go through background checks and be vetted by the Senate through its constitutional advice and consent.
Yeah, everyone's going to go through that vetting, by the way, from what we see, unless they do recess appointments. Again, we don't know. Even still, Elon Musk being a czar of some kind, we've had czars before, guys that are they're not part of an official government job or a created government job. I mean, Obama created government jobs with Obamacare. No one created more government jobs, and no one claimed to have shovel-ready jobs who didn't create any shovel-ready jobs. I'm Doug in exile.